want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Midnight Mindset. I am your host, Dylan, and I am joined by Julian today. If he's still here, I think I lost him. Oh, okay. He was just letting me speak. um. So, this week in wrestling, backlash over WrestleMania tickets, like there is every year. Samantha Irvin has left WWE. Wrestlers are upset with Def Rebel. Backlash over alleged, alleged, is that the word for it? Racist statement from Carlito. I don't know. That sounds awful. Probably sounds worse than it was. Gonna talk about this random video that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill posted with the Boogeyman for certain reasons. And then Julie and I both attended TNA Bound for Glory. So we're going to talk about all that in today's episode. Oh, and also we're going to talk about the Usos reuniting on Smackdown. So, without further ado, we're going to start talking about the WrestleMania tickets. I think, obviously it got backlash because of how expensive they are. But there's like thousands of dollars for like nosebleed seats. But first of all, they always are. Second of all, people are going to buy them. So that's why they're that price. Like, I get upset. Yeah, definitely that too. Yeah, because it's like, obviously people are in Vegas will be spending a lot of money to see a show. So, and I didn't even consider that as well. I think it's stupid. I every year I feel like it happens. It's always like a whole talking point, but I mean, I think it's just everyone's got to accept that most people will not be going to a WrestleMania. But if they wouldn't be that expensive if they knew they couldn't sell them like that. So, especially like now, if this was like 2019 and they were like thousands of dollars like that, I think it would be a different story. But they're thousands of dollars because everyone wants to go. Everyone would want to go see it. So, like, they're not just trying to fill in crowds as much as they can because no one wants to go see them. It's not like that anymore.
Isn't it in the Sphere this year too?
No, it's not. I'm hoping they do like the SmackDown before, the Raw after in the Sphere though. Yeah, but they haven't said anything about the Sphere. But UFC just did the Sphere recently, and it looks really cool.
I think the Sphere would be a good.
It would be.
Or it's maybe WrestleMania, but maybe like a SummerSlam or
I think
maybe a TL.
Sorry, I think the problem is that it's too small because I mean, let me look it up. I think it's smaller than a normal venue. So I'm assuming it would be like super, super expensive for like a lot less people. The Sphere capacity 18,000 seats. And so let me look up where is I can't remember what stadium WrestleMania is in. Allegiant Stadium capacity. So, and then where they are going to do WrestleMania has a capacity of 65,000 people. So
They're probably gonna make it to where it's like 95,000.
well, and see,
Biggest crowd.
65,000 is just like the football stands. So they obviously could add a lot more to that number, but yeah, they probably will lie and say they sold more tickets than they did, but I'm
But they
sure
do
they will. I'm
1 year.
sure there's a lot more seats going to be at that show than 65,000.
Yeah, maybe there won't be a. It would be cool, but I don't think for 17,000 seats that they're gonna use the Sphere.
Yeah,
Maybe for taping.
but UFC did it, so I don't know if they would. Maybe they would do something special in there. I think
But
a
I feel like
Raw or
you.
SmackDown would be a good choice because
But
they
if they
can get
could.
away with charging stuff. Sorry to keep interrupting you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's all I gotta say.
I feel like if they can get it away, if they have to do one there, they have to do other there. So it would be like Raw at the Sphere, and then immediately following would be like SmackDown at the Sphere the same week.
Yeah, they could do like a package, like I mean, I guess if it was a package, they would have already announced it. But I feel like a smart thing they could have done would be like a WrestleMania weekend package. Like you get the Sphere on Friday, and then the Sphere on Monday, and then the actual WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. So it's like a 4 day event sort of thing. That would be a cool deal. Because then you're not you're not really worrying about selling tickets to go to the Sphere, but they get to have the visual and the attention that being in the Sphere is going to give them at the same time. So that way they can actually, they don't have to charge super high amounts for like a Raw SmackDown ticket. But like I said, the attention I feel like is going to be worth it because I think it did it with UFC having it in the Sphere. I mean, have you seen any of the pictures and stuff from when they were in the Sphere?
No, I haven't.
It would look so cool, especially if you just for UFC. Like the visuals are insane. But, anyways, uh, let's talk about Samantha Irvin. I mean, assuming did you know about this?
Yeah, I go ahead. I'll let you talk about it, and then I'll say what I gotta say.
Well, I'm not gonna go into the whole statement that she did, um, just because I'm sure everyone's heard it. This is old news, really, at this point. But I think it is kind of a newsworthy thing because of how it happened. Because she just kind of left, like it wasn't her contract coming up or anything like that, which is something that we don't see very often in wrestling. It's like if you want to leave, too bad. That's usually how wrestling goes these days. But yeah, she just looks like she wanted to leave. I'm hoping, and I know I'm probably sound like an AEW hater, but I just don't. I'm hoping she doesn't go to AEW if that was the reason why she would go. But I don't think it would be if that's like why would they let her just go if she was going to go to AEW? But I think she's got potential to do so much more. But you go ahead.
Um, I am gonna talk about the statement she made because I feel
Okay, yeah, you
like
go ahead.
that needs to be like her saying that she doesn't like announcing is understandable, and I feel like she can do a much bigger role than announcing and what like that. Managing, I feel like she could do a great job. Like I feel like she can, and I agree. I wouldn't want to see her go to AEW. I think that would be a waste of her. She probably if she probably is going to go to AEW. Let's be honest, but that's definitely not something that I'd like to see.
I mean, yeah, it's the obvious. It would be the obvious thing to do since Ricochet's there. But I to be honest, I feel like with like the attention that she got herself, like she's a wrestling announcer and she is probably one of the most over people on Raw. And I think honestly, with her talents, especially not being able to wrestle, I think she's more valuable. I feel like she has way more potential outside of wrestling than she does inside of wrestling. Like, where is she gonna go with wrestling? I feel like she's just pretty much gonna be a ring announcer. I feel like a manager's kind of a downgrade because she doesn't have that screen time. Um, I don't know. I mean, with her like ability to get herself over, I feel like maybe doing TV and acting and stuff like that. Maybe that's what she's gonna do, or singing because she's really good at singing.
And it's crazy if you look at the whole Instagram thing, everyone's dogging Ricochet, saying it's his fault, like that he's untalented and whatnot. That's so I feel like not the case at all.
Well, no, I mean, because if Ricochet wanted to stay, he could have. I think that was. I don't think that is a point to make because Ricochet chose to leave. So if she's not leaving because he was forced out or anything. And
I think
I just
Ricochet is gonna.
sorry, go ahead.
I feel like Ricochet is gonna be one of those. He's gonna go off and do a little bit in other promotions and then come back again.
That's very possible. I think, to be honest, though, from what I've seen of him, I don't think he's on a good track. Maybe he goes like, I I think he'd be good going back to New Japan, doing the indie stuff again. I don't think AEW is the right choice for him, just because they have Will Ospreay, and he's basically just Will Ospreay, but less charismatic. And I love Ricochet, but I think that's the truth. Um, Anything else you got to say about Samantha Irvin?
No, I think we got that covered.
I don't. I feel like we could get a lot more into Ricochet, but I feel like this is not the place to do that.
Yeah, we're not talking about him right now.
I try to be try to be non-biased when I talk about wrestling online. um, Anyways, this one I think is huge. This next story, because it's wrestlers are upset with Def Rebel, and I'm glad that the talent themselves are speaking out because the music just sucks. I made this in the document very hard for me to actually read, so let me zoom in. Okay, so this is from Fightful. There's several WWE talents who have Def Rebel themes. Most of them are frustrated with what they've been given. Some say that they weren't even told why their music was changed from the CFO $ produced music to Def Rebel, and they never had direct contact with Def Rebel. So that is interesting, because saying this last part, saying that they never even had direct contact, so they didn't know their themes were changing, and they didn't even have contact with Def Rebel either. So it's like they're making these Def Rebel are making these themes for talent to basically like a way to tell you who this person is. Like, I feel like that's where an entrance is. It's like, let's summarize this person in like a few minutes before they get to the ring. And if you're not understanding the motives of this person or the character of this person, then you're not doing that job correctly. And I think that's a big problem with Def Rebel's music. Like, you watch a Rumble and you don't know who anybody is. Someone will do a run-in and you gotta think for a second, oh, whose theme is this? And then you see it and you're like, oh, yeah, now I know. But their music's all it's just not very original. It's average music. And it says one of the sources jokingly asserted that at one point Judgment Day, Damage Control, and Seth Rollins all had similar themes. Which, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of themes are just kind of, I feel like, repeats with tiny little changes, or there's a catchphrase involved. And then I feel like sometimes they have a good one. I think LA Knight's theme was really good, but then they changed it to be a generic theme like everybody else's. I don't understand.
I agree. I've never liked any. I don't think I've liked any of the Def Rebel themes, minus which one was it? I think I like Jay's. I think I like Jay's when he was main event.
Mm-hmm.
Jay. I think I like that one.
And the thing is, though, is Jay is basically just a copy of the CFO $ one, just with a little variation. And I don't know. And it sucks because I remember back when we were in the CFO dollar sign era, I remember everyone complained about them too. And now everyone's like, well, we want them back. Because they weren't great. Like, obviously they weren't Jim Johnston, but they were just way better than Def Rebel. And I guess you can't be too picky when it comes to that, because we obviously have the downside. And I wonder maybe I wonder why they have Def Rebel, or if it were if they are internally, if they're happy with it. Obviously the wrestlers aren't, but like if management's happy with them, like why is this continuously a problem? Do they just not care about themes? And I feel like that should.
I don't even know who Def Rebel is besides from making WWE theme songs.
I mean, that's all they do. I think they've made like before they did WWE, they did other like wrestling themes. Oh, don't play them.
Like I'm on their stuff, and I don't like.
I wasn't sure. I think there is some stuff pre WWE, if I remember correctly. I think it did a search at one point, but you're not saying anything.
No, it's all just WWE stuff.
Then I guess that's the answer.
One of them is literally called WWE Shop 2020.
Let's go. That's probably a banger.
I was like, oh, here's one Symphony number 9 in E minor, but it has a photo of Imperium on it, so...
No way. They made a theme for Shorty G.
Oh, I love Shorty G.
So they were around for a while. So they've been around since 2020. I didn't realize, I forgot he was doing Shorty G in 2020.
I love Shorty G. Bring back Shorty G and get rid of whatever we got going on right now.
What are you hating on Chad Gable now?
You can't do my man Otis like that and expect me to have any kind of sympathy.
There's a difference between being a bad character and a bad guy, though. Like, he's a good character, though.
Character.
But, like, I don't want Shorty G back. I don't want the character Shorty G back.
I want to see him wearing those Shorty G spandexes, though.
Yeah, that would be okay. I think that'd be okay. I feel like then he'd be too much like Kurt Angle, though.
Just because people wear singlets and like doing basic wrestling grappling moves doesn't mean they're Kurt Angle.
I mean, he really is, though, basically just Kurt Angle.
No, that's Jason Jordan.
No, that's Kurt Angle's son.
Exactly.
I mean, Chad Gable, I feel like Chad Gable's very aware that he's... I mean, he had to have taken a lot from Kurt Angle. I mean, watching Kurt Angle talk and watching Chad Gable talk, it's very similar. I mean, obviously, they're two different people, and Chad Gable has his own, like, style, but they're very, very similar. And I'm just looking at Def Rebel themes for no reason now, because I don't even know.
I know, I had to stop looking at it because I was getting too... I was in, like, 2019. Not 2019. I think it was, 21.
And I can't even listen to him either. I wish I could.
I've never even seen what they look like, but looking at them, I wouldn't trust them to make good wrestling songs either.
I mean, I'm assuming that they're just like guys that went to school for music, like they're sound engineer guys, and they're not like musically talented, but they're musically trained. That's the way I see it. That's why they can make, push out a bunch of songs, and have them be all right. But,
They made one for John.
for who?
John Cena?
No way. Def Rebel John Cena.
I don't think this
did.
is real.
Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think any of these are real.
I was like, I mean, I guess they could have made like a remix, but... And also, this isn't in the report, at least not that I screenshotted, but Randy Orton was like said at some point, I don't know if this was recent or a while ago, but was talking about how he hates his theme, but it's like he keeps it because it's the best one that's ever been given to him. Which is crazy to think about that theme, the very iconic Randy Orton theme. He hates, but he's like, well, no one else is giving me a better song, so I'm going to keep it. I think.
I mean, what song?
What's that?
I mean, what song would you want him to use?
Oh, I don't. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just. I personally like it. I just think it's an interesting fact that he does not. And AJ Styles, I really hate that he got his theme changed too. I think
didn't want one.
I think they wanted to get rid of all the CFO $ ones, and I don't think anyone has one anymore. I think maybe Shinsuke, but he might have one too. Let's see. Okay, so Shinsuke does not. He does not have one. A Def Rebel theme. That'd be something interesting to look up. See who has them and who has like.
What wrestlers still have?
Oh, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn does too. He has a CFO $ one because they made him one, but everyone hated it. And I think Street Profits. I think they have one too. There's a CFO $ one as well. So I guess there is plenty. I remember when I think in 2K24, the Street Profits theme is the Def Rebel one, and I was like, what the heck is this? Because I guess they did have one, but then they went back. What? Go ahead.
Someone said Bob Robert Roods is, but who knows? Because
he's basically retired though, which is a shame. But anyways, I'm gonna move on if that's okay with you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is just researching at this point, though.
Yeah.
So this is probably not a great topic to talk about. But I'm going to talk about it anyways. That the backlash that Carlito got from on Monday, there was a segment, which I'm sure everyone's heard about it, but segment where Damage Control was talking in Japanese to Adam Pearce. And Carlito comes in, he's like, oh, I gotta learn Chinese, as they walk away. He got a lot of hate for that. I don't know if that's gonna affect him on, next Monday. I think they cut it out of the replays. And before I say anything about it, I'm gonna ask you, Julian. Thoughts?
I think I need to learn Chinese.
I think it's not. It was definitely not a. There was no ill intention with that comment, obviously. I just think. I mean, the thing is someone would have. He could have said it for anything. It could have been like. It could have been any language, like, of a white person speaking, and it would have been okay. Like, that's the problem. It's annoying. People made a lot of comparisons to, like, that's like something R-Truth would say, and I think that's true. I don't have any like proof that R-Truth said something like that, but it's like people probably wouldn't be upset if R-Truth said it. I think it's frustrating because I feel like it's just coming at him to come at him. There's been worse things said on TV, on wrestling TV before. But I guess that's all I gotta say, to be honest. I mean, there's no reason to really get into it unless you got something to say.
Really have that.
I just thought it was something to bring up because it was a big deal. Okay.
This next one, for me, is pretty funny.
So there was a video. It was both on Bianca and Jade's Instagrams. I don't know if I put in the doc that WWE posted it, but I don't know if that's true. but it doesn't really matter. But it was a video of Jade and Bianca like feeling in a box. They've been doing this stuff recently, I'm pretty sure, and they were like trying to like guess what it was. And I guess they assumed it was a fake head, but they clearly knew it was a head. But Bianca sticks her finger in the nose of this item, and it turns out to be the boogeyman, which is so funny. It's funny that it happened at all. I'm gonna get a picture of it here. It's funny that it happened at all, that it was boogeyman under there, but it's even better. It's so much better that she stuck his finger in his nose. And like they were like poking his eye, and like I can't believe that he agreed to do that. It was so funny. So there, there it is right there. The boogeyman just getting his nose picked. For what? For what reason did he allow himself for that to happen? But then my like point was, look at his physique in this picture. And this
Bro
is
has always been jacked.
yeah, and I guess that's true. I was thinking about that too. But we're a wrestling podcast, so I gotta ask the question: do you think he's gonna wrestle again? I mean, look at him.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. We couldn't get Bray Wyatt. We couldn't get the Fiend versus Boogeyman. I want to see Uncle Howdy versus the Boogeyman.
Uncle Howdy versus the Boogeyman?
Dude, 60-year-old Boogeyman just going to town on Uncle Howdy.
I'm all for that. I think, to be honest,
On some like PCO stuff, that would be crazy.
yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get that, but I think we're gonna get. I feel like we at least a Royal Rumble appearance. I mean, we're almost it's that time of year.
I heard that he's been seen like just walking around backstage in his gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly always had a relationship with them. This picture just like kind of makes me think, and I guess maybe that's why he stays in shape, like for appearances too, maybe. Because he's very active. Like he does signings and things like that all the time. I mean, he was more of a character than he was a wrestler, so I guess just keeping up that character facade is maybe what he's trying to do. But I would love to see him in the Royal Rumble because like last year, there were really no surprises last year in the Royal Rumble. So I think we need this year to get some surprises in the Royal Rumble. And I think Boogeyman is just the surprise we need.
I'd be
And
for it.
yeah, definitely. And then I think this is funny too, because like clearly this was like a WWE like arranged thing. Like it had to have been. And so it's so funny to me that Bianca Belair just tagged at Boogeyman. And I'm like, I don't think that's his name on Instagram. And it's not. And I guess nobody is at Boogeyman on Instagram. But his is like at Boogeyman, I'm coming to get you or something like that. So I thought that was funny. It was just like you made this post with him and then just didn't even care. It's like she didn't even care to figure out what his at was. It was just at Boogeyman.
Currently changing my Instagram to at Boogeyman.
Someone's got to claim it.
It already exists, but it wasn't let you.
That's so weird. Because if you go,
I'm literally on it, and it's not. He has everyone blocked.
oh, okay, that makes
That's
sense
what
then. How edgy?
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, you made me think for a second.
Gotcha though.
This is a very boogeyman thing to do, I guess. And then when he comes to get you, he unblocks you, and that's when you know danger's afoot. Okay, and I think this is okay. So, what do you want to do? You want to talk about TNA? I don't have this in the notes, or do you want to talk about Bloodline?
I say we save the best for last, and let's get into the bloodline.
Okay. So on Monday, we had Jay Uso and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title, and of course, we had Bloodline interference, costing Jay the Intercontinental title. Now, I will say, as tragic as that match was, I think one of the funniest moments in
Was the
recent like
chick
wrestling was Solo coming down. He's like, I got tickets, one for me, one for one for Jacob. I think that was so funny. Solo is honestly pretty funny. Whenever he gets his moment to be funny, he's pretty funny. And I think that was finally this tribal chief character we got to see trying to be funny.
for me? It is hands down kind of some of the best. Uh, like he's one of the funniest guys we have right now in WWE.
Definitely. I mean, and oh my god, sorry. I was trying to get in better in camera, and I just
Bro disappeared for a little bit.
and then now the non. Uh, okay, sorry. Okay, back on track.
Me
Um,
and Boogeyman are the same height and weight. Can we talk about that real quick? Sorry,
hold
sidetrack.
on, hold on. Are you the boogeyman?
Dude, I don't like. I feel like I couldn't put worms in my mouth.
That's true. You know what? Yeah, you beat the allegations, or maybe that's what he would want me to think.
Yeah. You've seen me try to eat most foods.
You have lost a lot of weight recently, and we were talking about boogeyman being in shape.
I am far from in shape.
I don't know. We'll keep that on tab. I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah. So, anyways, oh, you sent me the picture. I guess I can put that in the. I'll put that in the right next to me, so we can just look at it while we talk about the bloodline stuff. Don't mind me just staring up at the ceiling.
You know, I have that as a meme.
Hold on, hold on. This is a very professional show we got going on here. Okay, okay.
Beautiful.
I feel like that's it's good to put that on screen here. It's nice having visuals. But anyways, so that's pretty much it. Then we go to Smackdown, and I'm drawing a blank on Smackdown to be completely honest.
After
Let me
what
look
I'd
at the.
say was a beautiful tournament, we got Motor City Machine Guns versus Bloodline in what I was not expecting for that SmackDown. I thought it was going to be like a crown jewel kind of match because that would have been fire. Actually seeing the Tongans in all of his goofy glory versus the Machine Guns. But, and then after the match got started, we got a delicious Jey Uso comeback when he super kicked. Which one is it? Tongaloa? I think that was his name.
I'm not sure. One of the Tongans. I can't remember off the top of my head.
And that hug at the end of the show. As a 21-year-old man, I almost cried.
I know that was. I got. That was amazing. That was like it was so powerful feeling, and it's like, there's so much story in that hug. It's crazy.
And I'm sad I have to wait till next Friday to even remotely get anything because I know there's not going to be no Bloodline on Monday.
Oh, there definitely could. I mean, because Jay is on Monday.
But
Um,
all the stories been taking place on Friday, so
is there? I wonder if there's any announced matches. Let me look it up. Um, just to see, we got Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. Dom versus a mystery world champion. No, it doesn't look like there's anything like that. No J things announced though.
Wait,
I
wait,
think we'll
wait.
get. Sorry, what?
Go back to that last one. Dom versus what?
Dom versus a former world champion. I can't remember the context for the life of me why that's happening. I think it was
Probably,
Dom talking shit or whatever.
and it's probably Damien.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Damien. My thought was Damien or Ray, but Ray is also in a tag team match, so because he's in the tag team contendership tournament, so or number one contenders match. So I don't know. It might not be Ray, but yeah, probably Damien or Finn. They could do something like that.
Why
Because
would
Finn,
you?
Finn
Why,
is a world champion, former world champion. Just to play,
they're
like,
literally
sorry,
in a
just to,
stable together.
yeah, but just to, you know, plant some seeds of destruction or something. I don't know. It's Adam Pearce. He loves the destruction.
I don't see that happening though.
Yeah, I don't see it either, but I'm just saying, you never know.
This guy keeps disappearing behind Solo Sikoa.
I'm sorry. Oh, wrong way. Sorry, I was staring off into the distance. But yeah. So did you watch that segment? The segment of SmackDown,
Which one?
the title match and everything after that.
Yeah,
What did you think as a not knowing about machine guns? What did you think about those two matches?
I thought it was good. I didn't watch most of the first one. I only caught the back half of it because I went potty.
This
But
guy took the piss break of the main event.
bro, there was still like an hour left in the show. I didn't think it was over.
But they said it was the main event. You should have known.
That
Um,
tag match was going for an hour. Okay, no special causes. No way.
See, I was like, okay, I saw that and I'm like, okay, that might. I'm like, it must be a long match, or we're gonna have like a segment at the end. And then there was like, okay, there's like 10 minutes left, and they're like, we want the match. I'm like, it's not gonna happen. And the match happened. I'm like, what? The match is happening. I did not like when it was going on. Like, I wasn't believing it. That's a very non wrestling thing to happen, for them to say, we're gonna do it tonight, and then it actually happens tonight. Usually, there's some tomfoolery, and then the match doesn't happen. But it happened, and it was really good. I always have loved the machine guns, but their that showcase on Friday, both those matches were amazing. I liked the DIY match, but I kind of expected that because they're very similar in styles and they know each other. They probably worked it out together really well. But the Bloodline in a very WWE match, they really showcased that they could do it. So that was really what impressed me by putting them in this Bloodline. The way Bloodline matches always go, it's just nonstop interferences and everything, and they looked good in that. I felt like they were still important in this match, even though Bloodline was kind of the main focus. So I was very impressed, and I think this is a good sign for the tag division. I'm glad they didn't get put to NXT like everyone thought they were gonna do.
And
Okay.
they have a future in WWE. But steering, I want to get back on Bloodline first a little
Okay.
bit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So they're still obviously outnumbered because if you think about it, it's only the Usos and Roman.
Yeah.
Who do you think we are gonna get?
I think Sammy. I think Sammy's gonna be the last guy. I personally don't really want that, but I know a lot of people do, and I don't see who else would it would be unless because they have Hikuleo is signed, which is Tonga and Tamatonga and Tongaloa's brother. He's signed to the company. They just haven't used him on TV. There's still plenty of family members around in the wrestling world. Um, my
Let's be real. There's only one Samoan that would even remotely fit the bill.
and that's Cody Rhodes.
No, I know you're tiptoeing across his name, but we need to just get it out there.
Okay,
And
who?
it's Zilla Fatu.
I was literally about to say that. So, my
And even Booker T himself said that he wants to help Zilla get into WWE.
oh, and I think it's a matter of time before Zilla is in WWE. I think it's just he's he's just not experienced enough, and I don't think that really does matter to WWE. But also, I think it might a little bit. I mean, they did it with Solo. They put Solo in NXT for a few months, so I feel like will probably get Zilla in NXT like for a match or so before we get him in the Bloodline. But I did want to say about Zilla because my dad is trying to get into like look online wrestling news and stuff like that. And so he learned about Zilla. So like every time there's a Bloodline segment, he's like, "This is Zilla's coming out. Zilla's coming out."
Right?
Just to see his excitement because of just online rumors is great. I did not expect that.
You know your dad loves Zilla Fatu.
He does. I mean, but Zilla is really good, and I know it's a matter of time before we get Zilla. There's like, especially with literally the number one story being about that family. But I think in talent alone, he deserves to be there, and I think it's a matter of time before he is, especially with Booker T's influence. But also at the same time, though, Zilla I think he had a falling out with Booker T because of he left Booker T's company over some contract stuff. So I don't know if there was a falling out because of it or not, though. So maybe that is a problem.
I regardless would like to see,
Oh,
I regardless would
yeah, I'm
like
just
to see
talking.
him.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to hate on Zilla. I love Zilla, and I hope he's there eventually. I just think that they're gonna take a little more time on him because they don't necessarily need him right now. So why rush it? We got we. I feel like we could do this forever, as long as they do it right and not give it to us all super quickly right away. And I think that's what they would be doing if they put Zilla in right now. They would be spoiling more storylines they could do in the future. Is that all you got about Bloodline?
That is, yes.
All right. So, let's talk about TNA Bound for Glory. But I forgot to do it. So before we start talking about TNA Bound for Glory, I got to run an ad for our sponsor, Dubby. Hey, you. Have you ever seen your favorite wrestler do this?
The Edge isn't going down without a fight. Again, was looking for a pedigree again.
That's because he didn't drink Dubby. What's Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. They also have no maltodextrin filters and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams caffeine. If you're interested, go to dubby.gg and use code MindsetTW for 10% off. That's code MindsetTW for 10% off. Once you drink Dubby, this would be you. Drink Dubby today. All right, it is time to talk about TNA Bound for Glory. So we were given tickets from TNA, which I am very, very thankful for that they gave a small creator tickets, considering them media. I very much appreciate that. But let us talk about TNA Bound for Glory and our experience. I can kick this off with you if you want to start. If you want to start it.
I feel like it was a great experience. The atmosphere was good. The crowd was insane.
I will definitely say the crowd, because we were at the Emergence TV tapings. I already talked about Emergence, so I won't really go over that. But when we were at the TV taping, the crowd didn't seem very hot, and I know it was a TV taping, but this crowd compared to the Emergence taping was incredible. It was loud and insane. Go ahead.
Both shows were in big towns, and I feel like Louisville is bigger than Detroit in some, like, I'm not like trying to like cause anything, but I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
But I mean, it did help, obviously, because these are two very different shows. This was Bound for Glory, which is their big show, and then we were at Emergence, which is just a online exclusive show. I don't know what they call them, but still, the crowd was there, and I mean, because I have been to the wrestling shows that I've been to were house shows, and then the last one was the Emergence and the TNA Impact TV tapings. I've never felt something like this. So the crowd was there, and somehow we got amazing seats. And in fact, this probably
You can see
I would say this probably only means anything to us, but we're on hard cam, and you can see us pretty much most of the time. I'd say like 70% of the time we're in camera. Which you can see me in my Ryback shirt.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what shirt I'm wearing.
It was hard to see, but I want everyone to know he was wearing a Velveteen Dream shirt.
Listen, why are we suddenly hating on Velveteen Dream?
I mean,
I'm just playing.
There's plenty of allegations. That's the problem.
Let's be clear. I wore the shirt not because I am a fan, not because I'm a fan, because I just thought it was funny, and that is the whole reason behind me wearing the shirt. I have text proof of us going over that of why I'm wearing it.
I was perfectly fine with that until you said, why are we all hating on Velveteen Dream all of a sudden? I'm like, I can tell you reasons why we hate Velveteen Dream. But yeah, it was a really good match. It was a really good show. Right off the bat, the Collar Shot Gauntlet match was really good. I mean, this was right after Rhino's Hall of Fame speech, so it definitely helped when Rhino came in. I feel like that was like the first like pop for me of the night, was seeing Rhino in the Gauntlet match right after his Hall of Fame speech. And then obviously Frankie Kazarian had to hit Rhino in the balls and beat him that way, which was really disappointing. But I think obviously Frankie Kazarian having that title shot is probably more useful. But then the main show started with an absolute banger, which was the X Division Championship match, Mike Bailey versus Vicino.
Oh my god.
And,
I love Mike.
And this one did not disappoint at all. Like,
In the slightest.
And I don't know if he actually got hurt. I don't know if there's any news about that.
I don't know. I was looking it up as you were talking.
Okay, let me know if you find anything. But he like looked like he got a leg injury in the match. So I don't know if that was storyline or he actually got hurt. I do know that Vicino has he frequently does get hurt because he's literally insane the way he wrestles. So
he was. I didn't even. I don't mean to interrupt, but he was apparently stretchered out, and I didn't see that.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I mean, if we didn't see it, it probably was real then because they wasn't made a big deal then. So that sucks. I mean, that's like the thing with Vikino though, and that's I think always been like there's a reason why he's not really signed with anywhere. I think because he's honestly kind of a liability the way he wrestles. It's very dangerous. I mean, he's with AAA, but I'm talking about like I guess in America. He comes and goes. He was on AEW recently. He was on he was just on TNA, but I mean I feel like he gives it all to a fault because I mean if he really got hurt then that's not good.
Yeah, that that sunset flip he did or whatever off the top of the turnbuckle poles onto the floor.
Is that what did it?
My assumption is that's what did it.
I can't remember the exact moment. But I can picture it in the head when he first the reaction when he got hurt though. His first noticing of it, I guess, when he was grabbing his leg, and I know later in the night they had they said and when they were promoting Impact, they were they said it was on the Titantron, and I think Tom said the new X Division champion Vikino. So I'm wondering if he was supposed to win the match, and he didn't because he got hurt. But that was a bit of a malfunction on their part, saying that he won the match then after the fact. But amazing match. Even if he worked hurt, that's incredible because it was amazing. Those two, I mean, Mike Bailey always shows off, but I haven't had a lot of experience watching Vikino, just clips and highlights. So watching a full match in person, amazing. And this was one of the ones that I was super into the whole time. The crowd was super into. I couldn't say enough good things about it. It was just amazing. And then the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match, I feel like this one was kind of doomed to be not great because it just came off a really hot match. I think it was okay. It was an okay match. I think it was a one that I think it was kind of an Impact match on the main card, in my opinion, though. I personally really wanted to see Rosemary and Wendy Chu win because I just want to have some interpromotional championship holder. I know it would be weird to have Wendy Chu be that person, but to have an NXT and TNA person hold tag team titles together would have been super cool. And I don't know why they didn't do it. It seems like they don't care about the Knockouts tag team titles. So, why can't you just give it to Wendy Chu? It kind of upset me.
Me personally, I completely disagree. You know me, I love my girl Danny Luna. I'm so glad that they retained their titles.
I mean, I like Spitfire, but I feel like there's no story with any of the women in the Knockouts division, the Knockouts tag division. So I feel like we kind of let's just make history, you know? But I do agree, in terms of talent and probably longevity, Spitfire is definitely the go-to. Especially because I think Danny Luna is pretty young. I don't know how Jody Thread is, but let's see. Danny Luna, not Lunda. She's looks like a doctor, I think. Yeah, Danny Luna is 25 years old, so I don't think Jody Thread's that age. Let's see. She's 35. I mean, she's still got time, but obviously Danny Luna, they could build the, Knockouts division around, so. But I still would love to see that happen. I'm surprised. I thought we were going to have an TNA person hold an NXT title or NXT person hold a TNA title at some point, but it just hasn't happened. You got anything to say about that match?
I think that we've pretty much summed it up. I don't even want to talk about the next one.
What, did you not like this one?
No, what?
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'll talk about this, and then we can go into it. So, Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin started really slow.
Oh, I was at the wrong match. I love the walking wiener.
Oh, I don't know which one you're thinking of right now, but so it started off really slow, and there was like no crowd reaction, and I feel like there was a lot of burnout from that first match because I feel like this one was a lot better, but there was like no reaction to it for a while, but then there's a ref bump, which is it was a terrible ref bump because it was literally like when you say a ref bump, it was a ref bump. They kind of tapped him and he fell down and it looked like I think you said it. It was like he got shot. He reacted like he got shot. But Josh Alexander zip ties Steve Macklin's hands while he's on the ground, and then throughout the match, Steve Macklin is fighting with his hands strapped behind his back, which was insane. The way he was moving, he did kip ups, he did kicks, he did drop kicks. This guy, I didn't see it in him. He did a spear, yeah, without arms. I'm seeing in the news report that the Northern Armory were unable to be there, which makes sense because I'm like, it would have made sense if they interfered, which is like Josh Alexander's like cronies in the past few weeks, basically. And when they had the ref bump, I'm like, oh, they're coming. They're gonna come and attack him, but no, I was quite surprised by this, and I think what happened was a lot better than just his stable coming out and attacking Macklin.
With EY being injured, I don't think that they were gonna do a run in because he couldn't come in to do anything.
That is true. That is true. But what happened was amazing.
Also, I feel like we need to go back because I feel like you skipped over a good part of that the knockouts match about what happened at the end of it.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that because after the match, Rosemary attacked Wendy Chu.
Hit her with a wicked spear, then kissed her on the forehead.
Yeah, I don't think he kissed her on the forehead, did she? I think she actually just licked her lips or something, right?
She did something fruity to Wendy Chu.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was unexpected. And it seemed like I thought they were actually gonna do a lot with Rosemary and Wendy Chu. They're a perfect match for each other, and like Wendy Chu's not doing anything on NXT. The only time they've really had her do anything recently was when they had her with Rosemary. So it was like a perfect pair. So that was disappointing, but I mean, this means we're gonna get probably a feud between Wendy Chu and Rosemary. So it's gonna be a lot of spooky stuff. But yeah, that's it about that, and also Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin. Unless you got something else.
No, I don't got nothing else for that for the walk.
Okay. And then the next match was the Monsters Ball match between PCO and Matt Cardona, and I will say something first right off the bat that this was not a Monsters Ball match. This was just a hardcore match because why did they not have the Monsters Ball stipulation that they can't eat or drink or like they're locked in a room for like 48 hours, I think is what it is, and they can't eat or drink for that 48 hours? Why didn't they do that? I would have loved to see them do that stipulation, which probably isn't real, but just doing the little like segments before is cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did it. I watched I watched last year's Bound for Glory before, like a week before or something, and I was Rhino versus somebody else, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but they even did it for that, so I was kind of disappointed that they didn't do that stipulation. It's it's fun just for the like story of it perspective, because obviously they're not actually doing it, and I'll accept that, but for the story of the match, I think it's cool, especially with PCO. He's crazy. He is a monster.
Favorite spot in that match is when he went to go for a dive. Cardona hit him with a trash can, and then he literally landed on his head.
Oh my god. PCO, I feel like lands on his head like a million times per match. It's insane.
I need to know that old man's doctor bills.
Man, he doesn't have any because this guy is just a monster. He's just built like that, I guess. Like imagine
56.
imagine PCO like wrestling with them in the Mounties, wrestling like that. Like that's insane that that's the same guy. Like I think at some point I think he literally did die and someone resurrected him. Like this is not the same guy that wrestled in the 90s. There's no way. But yeah, that match was insane. And back to the point that I make all the time, I hate the "We want tables" chant. And I'm actually glad that there were no tables in this match. There was doors that were used like tables, but no tables. I hate the "We want tables" chant. They have a plan for the match, and it was probably gonna be good. If they were gonna use tables, they would have used tables, or they're going to use tables. I hate the stupid chant that "We want tables." I don't really care for tables that much anyways. So that's that. And that's the final statement on the tables. And I don't want to hear any disagreements because I'm tired of that stupid chant.
Speaking of chants, I finally got to be involved in one of my favorite chants ever. We're not going to go into what the chant is. I don't know if we're allowed to.
I mean, you could say it.
Dude, oh my god. You ever be able to join grab his dick chant? Grab his dick. Grab his dick.
That was the
Literally?
that was in the Macklin Alexander match, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Walking wiener.
Yeah, because that got going after the walking wiener chant, yeah. Which is really crazy to think that we were there when the walking wiener chant started too.
When it started during that, David, oh my, I love being a TNA fan right now. Especially for this next match, bro. Can I open this one up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, Mike Santana versus Moose, absolutely insane. He yelled during part of the match that I am the dog, and then drop kicked him. Not drop kicked him. He did something into the barricade, bro.
Yeah, I did not have a lot of hopes for this match, to be honest. They didn't really build it well, but they didn't really need to, I guess, because these two guys are just too good. Moose is like, when it comes to TNA, Moose is that guy, like the TNA guy. And then Mike Santana, since he left AEW and came to TNA, I know he was in TNA before, but I didn't know much about him. But since he came back to TNA, this guy's like been on something. He's amazing. He's charismatic. He's great.
His name. I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Not only that he's trying to like make a name for himself again, but also he has been in a tag team for a long time. So this is like his singles run of his career, basically. So, and to be honest, he's like Hispanic John Moxley, in my opinion. This guy's got that kind of charisma. He even comes out down through the crowd. Yeah, I didn't, like I said, I did not expect this one to really be much, but this one did not disappoint at all. And this had JDC at ringside, which is always fun because JDC is such a fun guy to yell at.
He was looking at us because of the dudes below us kept yelling. Dog water.
That's the thing about managers and like people that are managing in TNA compared to other wrestling shows that we've been to. They interact with the crowd in some sort of ways, or like when in this match specifically with Moose, because the people around us were really like yelling at Moose, and Moose would like stop and stare at them, give them like a death stare, and that was so cool to see.
Oh yeah, the dude below us yelled something about Moose. He literally stopped.
He yelled Moose Moose is cucking Eddie or something like that, and
Yeah, Moose cut Eddie.
yeah, which is hilarious. And then Moose like just stopped, stared down at that, and that's so cool. Like he's not doing much, but he is interacting with the crowd, and he's making them involved because if they're yelling at him and he's interacting like that, and that's like okay, well then they're gonna keep doing it, and then keeps things more alive. But Mike Santana won, which good. Moose has been taking a lot of losses though, so hopefully he kind of like starts coming back after this, but. I think Moose needs. I'm kind of done. The system is kind of like. I feel like we're kind of stuck with the system because if them having all the titles like they did, that's fine. But now that they have no titles, it's like, what are we doing with the system? I think it would be cool to have like a shakeup of the system. Maybe not end the system, but like let's kick someone out and like have a feud and do something like that. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know who. I'm thinking we kick out Eddie. I think Eddie's probably the guy. Because Eddie can probably go on and be a okay heel. I mean, okay face, I mean.
I think we kick out Buddy Murphy.
He'd be fine too, which we're talking about Brian Myers. He'd be fine too, because he's a likable guy. I would say he could go with Matt Cardona and team with Matt Cardona, but Matt Cardona's a heel right now too, though. And I don't see Matt Cardona being a face anytime soon. But yeah,
Get his property back first.
what's that?
He's got to get his property back first.
Yeah, that's insane. That promo was insane. I feel like the worst promos he cut on her, we were there for too, which is insane to think about. The ones that he did in Louisville.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for that match.
I don't even. We'll talk about the ending of this match, and then that's it.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about what happened to Mommy.
Masha Slamovich defeated Jordan Grace. Well, we actually have a little bit I want to talk about with this match. But yeah, so Masha Slamovich defeated Jordan Grace. So Masha Slamovich is the new TNA Knockouts champion. But this did kind of bring something else up because Jordan Grace had recently talked about that her contract was up in 2025. Now, she just lost the title here coming up on her contract coming up. She's been on WWE a lot, and clearly she's liked the WWE. I mean, Shawn Michaels has given her so much praise. She was in the Royal Rumble before all of that anyways. I think we're probably going to get Jordan Grace in WWE, and to be honest, she fits WWE. Like, here's the thing with that. How are they going to build Jordan Grace up? I think that I think the best way to debut Jordan Grace is that she's going to be in the Women's Rumble and she's going to win to have that title match at Mania, because I think she's a powerful force, and I feel like just her presence is enough to prove to people that she deserves that spot. And I don't really see. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people I guess could win the Women's Royal Rumble, but I feel like Jordan Grace would be amazing. And now, who would Jordan Grace face at WrestleMania? Because I think Rhea Ripley is going to beat Liv Morgan again for the Women's World Championship. So I think we're going to get Rhea Ripley versus Jordan Grace at WrestleMania for the Women's World Championship.
Mommy versus Mommy? Oh my god.
That's perfect. Like, that literally is perfect. Like, there's no better match than that.
Jordan Grace versus not Raw, fucking, what is it? The Smackdown Mommy, Nia Jax.
I don't want that as much. That would be fine. That would be fine, but because I feel like I can predict Jordan Grace versus Nia Jax, right? It's gonna be butt based offense, and then we're gonna get a Jordan Grace lifting Nia Jax over her head, slamming her to the mat, and then that's gonna be the end. Am I
Also, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant shit.
am I wrong though? That's gonna be what it would be though. So, but I think I think Jordan Grace versus Rhea Ripley is perfect.
I mean, yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I mean, because then I don't know if they would put her on Raw beforehand, like when they put Raw on Netflix. Um, it's a possibility, but if her contract's up in 2025, I think the Royal Rumble is in February now, isn't it?
I don't remember.
2025. It is February 1st. So from the time that her contract is up, there's a whole month in between that. So I mean, she could take a month off. They've done stuff like that before. But so I think it's possible we could see her on Netflix, but I think regardless she needs to win the Royal Rumble. There is Go ahead.
There's also that chance that she will renew her contract. There's also that too.
There's that too, and I would not be upset about it. But I just think the writing's on the wall that this is what's going to happen. I mean, there is the argument that she has literally done all there is that she could do right now as champion because she's beaten everybody, which is why towards the end of her run, it was like her defending against NXT people because she's pretty much done everything with them. So this probably was like they probably did have her lose because who else does she fight? I mean, she's already faced Masha, so but yeah, it's possible, and I wouldn't be upset about it. Especially, I mean, she's a big reason why I like it. I mean, I like TNA, so I obviously that would be losing a big part of TNA if she left. But either way, I'd be happy. But I think she deserves more, honestly. Like, TNA's not going to give her the money and platform that WWE is going to give her. But that's all I got to talk about that, unless you got something else to add.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. And then up next, we had Nick Nemeth versus Joe Hendry with Frankie Kazarian as the special guest referee. And I want to say so much unneeded hate for Nick Nemeth from the beginning of this match. Now, I did not think about it because I did not think about it ahead of time, but there is a huge rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State, and Nick Nemeth is obviously from Cleveland. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or if people just really hate Nick Nemeth, which I love him. I think he's a great champion. To be honest,
Ohio, for a good 10 minutes, I thought we were gonna die.
yeah, I will say that we are both from Ohio, and we were in Detroit when they were all chanting "Fuck Ohio," which is intense.
I tried to get the OHIO chant, but my buddy, my correspondent, left me dry.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
Next time he uses a porta-john, I will flip it on him.
I expect nothing less. So we had a lot of this was an amazing match. These two were amazing. I could see they had such good chemistry in this match. I mean, I think they're both amazing storytellers when it comes to wrestling. And then Frankie Kazarian too just added so much more to that. He kept kind of hinting at him cashing in his collar shot gauntlet contract or whatever. I don't know what you'd call it, but his opportunity. His cup, yeah. But he kept doing it, and then eventually he goes and tries for it, and here comes a big old John Bradshaw Layfield out of the crowd and just clotheslines him so hard.
Really turned him inside out.
Like, it was insane. And then after he does that, there's a little moment of him and Joe Hendry on the outside of the ring. And it looks like they were kind of like talking things over. And then just eventually, out of nowhere, he just clotheslines Joe Hendry too. And I could feel the tension in the air that Joe Hendry most likely is losing this match. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they're not going to do that, are they? I mean, Joe Hendry is so over right now. Like, it's insane how over he is right now. And just being in this crowd, this very anti-Nick Nemeth crowd, was insane. I was trying to be positive. I love Nick Nemeth. I was cheering for him. Julie and I were both trying to cheer for him through the crowds of We Believe. And
I really thought we were gonna get killed when we walked out. Ohio, get him!
And then but then as John's leaving, he clotheslines Ryan Nemeth, which Ryan Nemeth looks just like a generic ass dude.
Yeah, I didn't even know who it was yet until I watched back on the Tron.
But I'm wondering, like, was that intentional, or did JBL also not realize who that was when he clotheslined him? That is Nick Nemeth's brother. But because clearly the angle we're getting here is JBL trying to start a faction, which I don't know if you saw this news. Do you know the news of JBL?
Hey, old?
No. He's coming back. He's gonna wrestle again.
Bro.
I'm actually kind of excited for that. I clearly sound, by the sound of your voice, I understand. I see now that you're not happy about that, but I am very excited about that. I think it's gonna be so cool.
Presence, but wrestling,
I think he's probably gonna be like a Goldberg, where he's just gonna do short matches. But
it's gonna be like Goldberg versus Undertaker.
I don't think it's gonna be like that, but yeah. So I think, and it's clear he's trying to build like a stable, and I didn't think he was gonna wrestle, but it sounds like he's gonna wrestle. I mean, he said he's gonna be a bigger comeback than the Resurrection, is his words. Which I'm pretty sure he's a religious man. So him saying that means it must be a big deal.
The religious man and the wanted man.
True. And I think this means we're also going to get a Nick Nemeth heel turn. He kind of acted like he didn't know after the match, but I think he does know. I think he's well aware of this, is my guess. So I think we're going to get a Nick Nemeth heel turn, which is really good. Because first of all, at this point, there's no other way, because he beat Joe Hendry for the world title. Everyone wanted Joe Hendry to win, so clearly he's going to be a heel regardless. But it's like, I feel like, let's make him like more of like a Cena heel, where he's like a good guy but everyone hates him, but kind of evolving into a genuine heel, which Nick Nemeth is a very good heel. And I think he's a better heel than he is a good guy. But we haven't really said it out loud, but obviously Nick Nemeth defeated Joe Hendry for the world title. And this wasn't even the main event, which I thought was insane. Do you have anything to say about this match before we move on?
No, I'm ready to talk about the big boys.
All right, so this one I wasn't really sure why this one was the main event, but after watching it, I understand why this was the main event. So it was the Full Metal Mayhem match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Sorry, I haven't been keeping up. Sorry, I haven't been keeping from the chat. I actually did not realize there was even a part here. Um, hold on. What is your name? I'm trying to actually read your name. What? How do you get your font to look like that? What the hell? Brother Bab Contreras. Um, no offense, dude, but you look like a bot. I believe you though. But yeah, thanks for the support. Anyways, oh my God, what was I talking about? Yeah, so the hold on, I completely lost my train of thought here.
Why was the main event?
Yeah, so this was this one was like completely just spot after spot after spot. Um, there was a point of this match where the system were just gone, and I was like, there was a point of like a back and forth between ABC and the Hardys, and I'm like, where is the system? They were just taken out for so long, and the Hardys and ABC were doing so crazy ass moves. Stuff that's like hard to even describe. I mean, you can see the clips. Um, but anyway, I'm just gonna say the ending here. The Hardys won the World Tag Team Championships, and I'm gonna let you say whatever you want to say.
Is gonna be the last Hardy run.
What's that you said?
Nick, I feel like it is gonna be the last Hardy run.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Um, I don't. I did not think that this was gonna be really much, to be honest. But I thought they were gonna kind of come. They were gonna do like some matches, kind of get themselves over a little bit, kind of get paid, and then go to WWE at some point. To be honest, I thought they were just gonna go to WWE and get the Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame spot or whatever. But they're like back in TNA, which I did not was not thinking up until this point. Um, and it's good to see, and it seems like Jeff is in really good spirits. He's been through a lot, and I thought his firing from AEW was going to be like the end, to be honest. But I'm
Hearing his heartfelt telling everyone, like, thank you for believing in me, I almost cried.
yeah,
Like, as
just
a Hardy whole life, that was
yeah. Listening to him talk, he's so emotional, and I think I think he's super happy to be in TNA after everything that he's been through. I mean, because his last two companies was WWE and then in TNA. Um, and I just don't. Uh, they just did not go well. I mean, they both ended in really bad terms. I think they both ended pretty much the same reason. It was because of his alcohol problems. I don't. Is that how his AEW one ended? I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he just got released after injury. No, because he didn't have. I think the problem with AEW was that it was basically like they didn't think they could trust him. I think is the problem. And then because he got injured by Sammy Guevara, which got Sammy Guevara in trouble for injuring Jeff Hardy, but then Jeff Hardy was just let go, I think. Probably because they just felt like they couldn't trust him, and then him getting injured was kind of like, okay, well now you're hurt, so now we really don't know what to do with you, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, getting to see them win a tag team titles and Impact too, like I feel like they are TNA guys, 100%. They made a lot of their career in TNA. So it was really cool to see them win those tag team titles. Um, But yeah, that's pretty much all I got about that. I mean, amazing match. I mean, if you have the chance to watch it, if you got TNA Plus, I'm sure it'll be out to watch soon. Just watch it. It was an amazing show. You got anything else?
No, I think that was an amazing show. From the few that I've went, it was beautiful.
Okay. That's all we got here. Um, any final thoughts about everything going? Anything to talk about? Anything you want to get off your chest before we go?
I just feel like the crowd needs to know I'm scared of alligators, and that's my final thought.
Alligators. Okay. That's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're not gonna play TW tonight, but this was a long ass stream, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next week. I'm gonna try to do these Fridays, so we'll see you guys hopefully on Friday.
You.
Okay, hold on, we're almost done.